A very healthy and jubilant good morning to all of you. Students, in my recent video, I have discussed about the topic tense. Let us take a little recap. There are three types of tenses. First present tense, second past tense and third future tense. Means first present tense, an action that is done at present time, an action that is done at past time, that is past tense, an action that will be done in the future time, that shows future tense. In my recent video I have discussed about the structure of tenses, but I have only discussed about the structure of present tense. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the remaining two part of tenses, that are past and future. So first of all we are going to discuss about the structure of past tense. Student, in the past tense again we will divide into four parts. It is again subdivided into four parts, that is simple past, past continuous, third past perfect, and the last one is past perfect continuous. So one by one we will discuss about its structure. First we will take simple past. Again, first statement means positive or affirmative sentences. Second, negative. And third one is interrogative. Student, this is the structure of simple past tense. In simple past tense, first statement, structure of statement tenses is first subject plus second form of verb plus object. It's very simple. Subject plus second form of verb plus object. Now there is no confusion whether our subject is singular or plural. We only put the second form of verb. Second, negative. In negative sentences, first subject plus, because this is a negative sentence, so we have to put not, but we can't put only not, we have to put did. Did not plus first form of verb plus object. Students, remember one thing, as we have already put the second form of verb in the negative sentences, because the verb is do, did, done. Did is already second form of verb. So students, when we put did in any time, with did always use first form of verb. So we have placed here did, then the formation is subject plus did plus not plus, now we will put first form of verb. Always with the use of did, we should use first form of verb plus object. So while we are going to make the interrogative sentences, we will do again as we have done in the present tense. We will place the helping verb in front of subject, before subject. Means the formation is did plus subject plus not, no need to note, did plus subject plus first form of verb plus object. So this is the formation of simple past tense. Now we will discuss about past continuous tense. Second one is past continuous tense. In past continuous tense, first the formation of statements and sentences means affirmative means positive sentences is subject. As I have told you earlier that always in the continuous sentences we always used ing with the first form of verb. So the formation is subject plus is and are. Helping verb is and are. Now you know very well ki where we should put is, where we should put am and are. With the singular subject put is, with I put am, and with plural subject we will put are. Subject plus is am are plus not. Sorry, this is the past tense. We will put was were. This is the past tense. We will put was were. Was were plus not plus first form of verb plus ing plus object. Because we are talking about the past tense. Sorry students, this is the statement tenses. There is no need to place not. We will place not in the negative sentences. Subject plus was were plus first form of verb plus ing plus object. Now it's the time to discuss about the negative sentences. Subject plus, we will place not with the helping verb. Subject plus was were plus not plus first form of verb plus ing plus object. So students, now you know very well ki where we should place was and where we should place were. With the singular subject we will place was, and with the plural subject we will place were. And third one is interrogative. In interrogative sentences we will do like this. First helping verb means was were plus subject plus first form of verb plus ing, that is the same. This is the structure of past continuous tense. And third one is past perfect tense. As I have told you earlier कि always in the perfect tense we use has, have, had, and always with has, have, had use third form of verb. So the structure is, first statement means positive sentences, subject plus, because this is the past perfect tense, subject plus had, we will place had. So with had we will use third form of verb. Remember these things कि with has, have, had always use third form of verb. Now it's the negative sentences. The structure is same, subject plus had plus not plus third form of verb plus object. In the interrogative sentences we will place helping verb before subject means had plus subject plus third form of verb plus object, that is same. And the last one is past perfect continuous tense. Fourth one is past perfect continuous tense. Now again there is a little confusion because this is the perfect also and this is the continuous also. We discussed that कि always with the perfect tenses, perfect sentences we always use with has, have, had, third form of verb, but according to the continuous tenses we will use first form of verb plus ing. Now what should we do? We will do one thing. In the statement sentences formation is, in a very easy method I will tell you. In the statement sentences, subject plus had, as it is a past tense, had plus, now we have to put first form of verb with ing. Now but according to the perfect tenses we have to place third form of verb. Then we will do one thing. Here we will use word been. Been is the third form of verb. I have told you earlier. Be, was, been. Now we can place easily first form of verb plus ing plus object plus since for. After completing this structure, I will tell you where we should use since and where we should use for. In the negative sentences, subject plus had. We will use word not in between had and been. Had not been. Rest is same. Had not been plus first form of verb plus ing plus object plus since means or for. And the third one is interrogative sentences. We will place had before subject. Had plus subject plus been plus same. First form of verb ing plus since object plus since for. Now one tense is left, that is the future tense. We will discuss about the formation and structure of future tense also. Third one is future tense. Future tense means the action that is will be performed in the future, that is the future tense. Again, it is subdivided into four parts, that are simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. We will discuss its structure also one by one. First is in the statement sentences. We will talk about the simple future. First is simple future. The formation is, because this is the future tense, in future tenses we always use will shall. Then in the statement sentences the formation is subject plus will or shall. Subject plus will shall. Now our next question arises, where we should use will, where we should use shall. With I or we use shall, and the remaining noun remaining subject we will use will. Only with I and we will use the word shall. Subject plus will shall plus first form of verb plus object. Students, remember one more thing, that always with the will shall, always with the auxiliary verb, that is will shall, we use the first form of verb. Either we are going to write a essay, letter, whatever it may be. Always with will shall, use first form of verb. Subject plus will shall plus first form of verb plus object. Second one, in the negative sentences, same, subject plus will shall plus not plus first form of verb plus object. Third, interrogative sentences, we will place will shall before subject and the rest is same. Will shall plus subject plus first form of verb plus object. And the second is future continuous tense. Now again, future continuous tense. As this is the continuous tense, now in the continuous tense we always use ing with the first form of verb. But according to the future tense, I have told you that with will shall we use only first form of verb. Then what will we do? In the statement sentences we will use subject plus will shall plus we will use one word, that is be. Because be is the first form of verb. Be, was, been. Now we can easily place first form of verb plus ing. Now we have completed all the rules of English language. First form of verb plus ing plus object. In between we have used the word be to complete this requirement. Second, negative, subject plus will shall plus not plus be plus first form of verb plus ing plus object. And third, interrogative sentences, will shall in front of subject plus be plus first form of verb plus object. Now third one is future perfect tense. Future perfect tense. Now again there is a little confusion, but I would clear this, that in the perfect tense we always use the word has, have. But according to has, have, according to the English language rule, with has, have, we always use the third form of verb. But according to future tenses, we use will shall. But with will shall, we use first form of verb. Now, what will we do in the statement sentences? We will do subject plus will shall plus have. Subject plus will shall plus have. Have is the first form of verb. That is has, have, first form, had, and third one is also have. Subject plus will shall plus have. Now with will shall we have placed first form of verb. We have completed the language rule. Now we can easily place third form of verb because this is the perfect tense plus object. Second is negative, subject plus will shall plus not plus have plus third form of verb plus object. And interrogative sentences we will place will shall before subject, and that is rest is same. The last one is future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense. Last type is future perfect continuous tense. Now this is perfect also, continuous also. So we will do the formation of future perfect tenses is, in the statement tenses we will use subject plus will shall plus have plus been. Now again we will use word been because according to continuous tenses we have to use ing with the first form of verb. So we have written been plus first form of verb plus ing plus object. So in negative sentences we will use subject plus will shall plus not plus have plus been plus first form of verb ing plus object plus since for according to time. And the third one is interrogative. We will place like the same, will shall we will use before subject and the rest is same. So student, this is the structure of three tenses: present tense, past tense and future tense. Again it is subdivided into four parts, means there are total 12 sentences. I have totally discussed about the structure of 12 tenses. Now I want to clear some little doubts. That is, I have told you earlier that in the singular subject, some students ask what is the singular subject? That is he, she, it and singular noun. And plural subject means I, we, they, we, you and plural noun. Now sometimes students ask if there is little confusion where we should use while we are going to form the present tenses, where we should put s and where we should put es. So students, if our verb ends with o, double s, sh, ch and x, then we will place we will use es. Suppose the example is do. With the do we will form does, d-o-e-s. Suppose the example is sh means example is wash. Again with wash we will use es, washes. Ch means teach. Example is teach. So then we will use word teaches while we are going to perform the simple present tense. Suppose the example is mix, x ends with x. The example word we can take mix. Mix means mixes. But if our verb ends with y, then we will cut y and put ies. But if before y there is a consonant word, consonant means there is no vowel alphabet, there is a consonant, then we will cut y and put ies. But if it ends with y and before y there is a vowel, means vowel word, then there will be no change, it will remain same. So students, this is the structure. Now one part is left, that is since and for. Some students ask there, we want to know where we should use since and where we should use for. So students, since and for is used for the time, that is in the perfect tenses and in the perfect, mostly in the perfect continuous tenses. In the perfect continuous tenses, since is used when there is definite period of time. When the time is given, definite time means point of time. Point of time means when we are totally clear of which time we are talking about. But for is used for the period of time. Since is used for the point of time means definite time, and for is used for the period of time. For example, since is used when we are totally sure about the time, of which time, from which time we are talking. Suppose the example is days, name of days. Suppose example is since Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. And month of time since January, since February. Suppose the example is I have been. Year of time, name of days, name of months, name of years, name of seasons, name of festival. When there is definite period of time, definite time, then we will use word since. Suppose I have taken one example, I have been studying in this school since 2015-16, whatever we want to take, you can take this. But for when we are not sure about the time, suppose the example is I have been studying in this school for 6 years, but we are not sure of which 6 year we are talking about. So students, this is the topic of where we should use since and where we should use for, and this is the topic that we have discussed about the structure of 12 tenses. So in our next video, I will tell you that which type of tense is used, then where we should use simple present, where we should present continuous, different type of tenses we will discuss about where we should use these type of tenses. Thank you. Have a glorious day.